This is Raymond with Vaping 360, hanging out with Kurt from CCI, who is really big on the advocacy issues right now going on in vaping. You and I were on a SFATA conference call together, and you were pretty much my favorite part of that call.
Yeah, so obviously for those who were on the call itself, you could understand my frustration with what was going on. The regulations had just hit. People were obviously scared. There's a lot of questioning loopholes and people just not knowing what was going on. And one of the reasons why I spoke about the things that I did was we needed to get unified. We needed to have a strategy, and people were so focused on, can I continue to sell zero-nic e-liquid? Can I market as a dietary supplement? What do I need to do? What can I get away with? And that's just not the way the conference call needed to go. It needed to be about, this is what we understand them to be right now. Keep in mind, obviously, that it's been a few weeks since then, so there's a better understanding of what's going on. But until the FDA releases all of their information, there's always going to be the conversation that, well, we just don't know yet. But there was so much of that going on where I was just so frustrated. Is, look, slow down. What is your plan? What do we need to do? How are you going to get us all to do it? So that's what we need to focus on. And I'm sure you guys have seen that now. SFATA, CCI, Not Blowing Smoke, AVA, AMSA, there's unity being formed. So I don't want to take credit for that because I'm sure that those talks were already previously in discussion, but I'm glad to see that they were taking the advice.
So one of your big causes right now is helping promote 1 billion lives. What are you trying to do with those guys?
There are 3 things that we as an industry need to do. We need to focus on litigation, we need to focus on legislation, and we need to focus on the general opinion from the general public on vaping. Right now, obviously there are companies that have filed lawsuits against the FDA, which is a great start. There will be more to follow, I promise you that. We're working on HR 2058. We're working on the Cole-Bishop Amendment. There are talks going on right now with congressional leaders to make it so that vaping can survive. The one thing that this industry, though, one thing that we've forgotten is the non-vapors. We need to get them on our side. We don't need them to be screaming how awesome vaping is at the top of their lungs, but we need them to be like, okay, vaping is cool. Kudos to you. So 1 Billion Lives, what this does is it is a film by non-vapors for non-vapors. That means that there's no bias. Their credibility is still intact. This isn't something that the industry funded. This isn't a PR campaign or propaganda. This is a look from the outside into the inside of this industry and the struggles that we are facing. I saw the film. I was at the world premiere in New Zealand. And I can tell you there are a few times at that film where I actually started laughing. They did a very, very, very great job making sure that while they're presenting everyone with a lot of information, it was also enjoyable to watch as well. So I have been trying to support them in every way that we can, not only as a company, but everything that we can do to make sure that people know about this film. What you need to do is you need to go to 1billionlives.com. You need to go find their page on Facebook. If you type for 1 Billion Lives, you'll find it. Learn about it and start talking about it. With 1 Billion Lives, we can get the public on board, and if we get the public on board, the legislators are going to fall right in line.
So as you said, there's already action taking place legally. A lot of people are tackling it on the legislative front. So changing perception, that sounds almost harder because it's a social thing.
It definitely is. And the approach to this cannot be an approach that we've taken in the past. We all have spoken to non-vapors, whether it be on social media or in person, trying to educate them about vaping. But now we've been doing that for the past 2-3 years. You know, they just tone it out, and that's just what it is. So what they need is they need something that is extremely simplified, that is educational, but at the same time is also entertaining.
Cool. So basically at the end of the day, we're just trying to help people know that we're not all obnoxious hipsters or cloud blowers. We're just people trying to do something positive and not smoke tobacco cigarettes.
Exactly. We need to make sure that we go back to the basics, that we started as tobacco harm reduction, that we were a safer alternative to cigarettes. We need to make sure that as an industry, we reflect that.
Kurt, I love what you're doing. In addition to making cool products, I love that you're going so big on advocacy right now. I understand it's taking up a ton of your time, but you should support Kurt for being such an advocate for the business. Go to the Cloudy Collabs website, and for the best vaping reviews, guides, and features, go to Vaping 360, the home of vaping.